Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have moved our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving right in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share from our experiences may help you as you move your family from surviving disease to thriving right in the midst of it. It is important for all people that are involved intimately in this journey, whether you are the person who is going through, the caregivers, or the intimate, close, inner circle loved ones are the ones that are going through. It is important for you not to focus in on yourself. And I'm going to talk really from the perspective of the person that is going through today. If you are the person whose body is challenged with whatever you're going through, it is highly important that you do not focus in on yourself. Not to be selfish, not to be self-centered, self-focused. Yes, you are going through some things, and you do need to pay attention to what's going on with your body, but it is important for you to give. It is important for you to love other people, nourish those relationships, encourage other people to give on any level that you're able to give. And giving isn't always financial. Giving is of your time, of yourself, of your love, of your wisdom, and sometimes giving is just cooking somebody a meal, just giving somebody a hand, being there for someone when someone else needs it. But it's important for you to focus in on other people more so than yourself. Remember when we had talked about motivation? And I told you that my motivation was my family. It was important for me to love someone more than I love myself, because it helped me to not focus in on all that I was going through. And it also helped me to have that motivation to endure, but it helped me to not focus in on me so much. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the dangers of focusing in on yourself. When you focus in on yourself, what happens is you become ungrateful a lot. Ungrateful not just to other people, but just for the breath and the life that you have. And gratefulness is quite important. But you also begin to get impatient. You mess up the relationships around you because you're self-centered and you're not thinking about no one else but yourself. But here's a danger in being self-centered, self-involved, and just thinking about yourself all the time. What happens is your body begins to have a loud voice because you're paying attention to every little detail about how you feel, what you're going through, what you think. And so every little ache, every little pain, every little discomfort, you start focusing in on that, and it becomes very loud. You never want to get to where the outside has a greater voice than the inner you, because the inner you is what's going to help you to make it through this thing. But when the outside is talking, first of all, that outside is so unreliable. And when the outside is greater than what's in you, you can lose this war. You can lose this race. But when the inside of you is greater than what's going on the outside of you, you've got a fighting chance. You can win. You've got a lot going for you. And that's your greatest, that is your greatest support system, is the inner you. And so when you start focusing in on yourself and that body starts to talk louder than the inner voice of what's going on in you, it is easy to slip into despair, hopelessness, and to a deep, dark depression. And there is a place in that where it's not easy to come back from. Sometimes you're going to want to cry. Sometimes you're going to want to just, this is just too much. And there's a danger in going in that. Sometimes it's good and it's healing to do that, but only for a minute, because there's a danger in going in that pulls you deeper and deeper, and no one can get you out of there but God and you. And you don't want to get to that place, because no matter how much someone loves you, no matter how much someone tries to pull you out of there, they can't pull you out of there. The only person who can pull you out of there is you. And what happens is that inner you gets so beat down and so destroyed with all this hopelessness and despair that it's hard for the inner you to arise. And in that place of darkness, there's a lot that can come with that. and it can come a mental place where it's hard for you to get out of, an emotional place that's hard for you to get out of, and suicidal thoughts. There's a suicidal spirit that sneaks in that, and it becomes a tormentous place. It's full of torment. And when your mind and your inner self goes there, I'm telling you, your body will quickly deteriorate. You don't want to go there. It's hard to get out of that place. And a lot of people don't make it out of that place. So it is important for you to find someone, something that you love greater than yourself that you can give to. Even if you're lying in your bed and, you can't move, you can't do anything, you are bedbound. It doesn't mean that you can't give. You can still give. You can give love. You can give hope. You can give wisdom. You can ask someone else to do something on your behalf for someone. You can still find ways to love someone even in that situation. There's many times when I've been in the hospital and I'm still getting phone calls, and people act like I'm not fighting for my life. And they're still giving me all the doom and gloom that's going on in their life and wanting advice and telling me who died here and who died there. You don't want to be calling somebody when they're in a hospital bed fighting for their lives and telling them who done died and what's all the doom and gloom going on in your life. But even in those situations, it wasn't for me to take on what other people was going through. It was for me to give love and to give hope. And it's amazing that when you're there for someone else, it encourages you, and it strikes that chord within you and helps you and motivates you to keep on going. So I want to encourage you, don't get into negative thinking, and don't allow your mind to sit up and think about what you're going through, how it feels, and keep rehearsing things that you've been through over and over again. When you've gone through it, feel that emotion, but move on and keep on going, because if you dwell in that thing, y'all, I'm trying to tell you, it's going to take you somewhere you don't want to go, and everybody won't be able to come back from it. And if you come back from it one time, don't you go down that road again. So I want to encourage you at all costs, give in every season. Love outside of yourself. Think of other people outside of yourself, and don't focus in on what you're going through. Don't focus in on every ache, every pain. Don't get a woe is me. Don't start thinking that everybody needs to do for you. They're not moving fast enough for you. I would do this, but I can't because these people won't do it for you. You do as much as you can as possible in every season of your life. You do as much as you can as possible at all times for yourself. And what you can't do, you don't feel sorry for yourself about it. Find a way to do what you need to do. And if it's impossible, there's seasons where you just can't do anything. But you know what? Even in those seasons, you can work your mind. Even in those seasons, you can love somebody and be there for somebody else. Even in those seasons, there's something you can do. If it's all you can do is roll over one time a day, you roll over one time a day. Do the max that you can do, and do not get into a self-pity mode. Do not get into a woe is me mode. Do not look at yourself all the time. Do not allow your body to speak louder than the voice that is within inside of you. I hope that somebody heard me today, and I hope it's going to help you to avoid going down that road. Or if you're in that road, get yourself out, or recognize somebody that you know who's trying to go down that road and shake them and wake them up, because it's not a path that you want to go down. This is one of those things. It's better to learn from the advice of someone else who's been there than it is to have to go and get the experience yourself. As always, I'm very glad that you watched. Always do you. Like us down below, and please subscribe so that you can get all the videos as they come out each week. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.